Hi everybody, I'm Alexandra and today I'm going to show you how to use Zoom to host a meeting. So Zoom you're probably familiar with. We've hosted our trainings on Zoom, so hopefully you've been on it before as a guest at least. But when you're actually hosting meetings, there are definitely a few more tools that you might want to be aware of. So to actually sign into Zoom or create an account if you don't have one, you're going to want to go to zoom.us and then create your account. Here you can also join a meeting by putting in the information, but I actually already have the computer app downloaded and it functions a lot better. I'm not sure if it makes you download it or not, but if it doesn't make you, you should still download it on your computer because it runs really smoothly that way. Now, the only kind of complication with Zoom is that to host a meeting that lasts more than 45 minutes, you do need a pro account. So you just want to make sure that you're signed into an account with pro. Some of those are paid, but if you are a student or a teacher, you do get a free pro account. I'm not sure how much longer that lasts, but I've had a free one. I'm a teacher for the past year, and they have not made any signal that they're going to be canceling that anytime soon. So definitely, if you have those teacher or student emails, take advantage of that because it's a really great feature and it's awesome that it's free right now. So now we're on Zoom, you're all signed in. You're going to pull it up on your computer and you're going to see this really great screen that is just super simple and clean and shows you what you have coming up for the day and also allows you to schedule or join meetings. So if you are just wanting to hop on really quick with somebody, you can start a new meeting and that'll immediately start your meeting. If you are trying to join a meeting with someone like that, you would just click join. Or if you wanted to schedule, which is most likely what you're going to be doing, you would click schedule. So I would just put in my meeting information, time, date, all of that. And then you could have it generates a meeting ID, and that's how people will sign into it. I would definitely always use a password. You can make a certain password. Let's do reading grow. You can make a password that people will use. I would always password protect your meetings just because that keeps it a little more secure. And then I would also turn on this waiting room function because that requires you to approve everybody as they come in. So you would actually see who's waiting in the lobby. One caveat to that is that if someone is joining from their phone instead of their computer, it might just show up as iPhone joining, which is fine. I would just ask that person to identify themselves when they get onto the call if they don't have their video on, so that you can make sure that everybody that's in the room is supposed to be there. It really doesn't matter how you automatically turn on your video because people can change those settings as soon as they come in. And then you would just pick which kind of calendar option you want it to show up as. Again, this doesn't matter as much. I know I always download things as an iCalendar invite because that's my main calendar that I use. However, you can just copy and paste the information from however you download that calendar meeting to other formats as well. So my meeting is all set up. I'm just going to click save. And because I chose for it to do an iCal invite, it automatically pulled up my iCalendar. I'm going to accept that meeting, and then all of that just shows up on my calendar now. So typically when I'm inviting people, I know not everybody else uses their Apple calendars. A lot of people use Google, and that's fine, but I'm just going to make it accessible to everybody, copy and paste this, and then I would put that in an email. So that will let people log in, and then they can either log in by clicking the link or they can log in with the meeting ID and passcode. So if they want to do that, they would click join, and then they're able to put in that meeting ID number. You can also go ahead and type in your name when you're joining and change your little settings there. So that's how you actually schedule a meeting. So let's go into one. So I'm just going to start this meeting early. So because I didn't automatically turn all these things on, I have to join with my computer audio. And then I also need to unmute myself so people could actually hear me. I need to make this smaller so we can see all the options. And then I'm also going to start my video. Now you see double me gonna move my other video out of the way. Or maybe I can't, that's fine. So once we have this screen up, that's whatever you see in this screen, that's what people are gonna see. You can change your view. Obviously right now there's nobody else in the meeting, so I can't show you all of them, but you can have the option for gallery view, which I prefer, and that's just everybody is a little square, so you can see everybody in there. And then you're gonna see your security options. If you wanted to lock the meeting, if you wanted to, you already have your waiting room enabled, let people rename themselves, unmute themselves, all of that. Within a small reading group, all of these accessibility features, you should let people have them, just so that they're not asking you for those capabilities. Also, you have reactions, so people can use that as like a nonverbal way to respond to each other. If you really like what somebody's saying, do your little clappy symbols, and so on, and that will just disappear in a minute. But you can do all of those little symbols. And then you also have the option to see all of your participants over here. You can use the chat feature. When you're in the chat, you can have the option to send to everybody or select people. It's not even an option since nobody else is in the meeting right now, but you would see that drop down arrow where you can select who you want to talk to. You can add files, etc. And if you wanted to close the chat at any point, you would just click this drop down arrow and close. Same with the participants, or you could have that as a pop out, if you wanted to take attendance or something, and then close that. The other important features on here are going to be your share screen features. So if you want more people to share their screen, you have to go to advanced sharing options, and then you would be able to let other people share as well. If I want to share my screen, I'm just going to click share screen, and then I have all of these options. I have whiteboard, I have my Google that I was reading, so you can share whatever is up on your computer. If you want to do whiteboard, I'll just show you what that looks like. And then you can draw on that, which is an alternative to like the Jamboard, but is just through Zoom. So I will say again, a caveat is that when I use the Zoom whiteboard, not everybody always has that feature, just depending on how up to date their computer or their Zoom account is. So I'm going to stop sharing that, and I'm going to go ahead and hang up the Zoom call so you don't see double of my face anymore. So that is how you use Zoom. Again, it's the most common, but definitely not the only web conferencing device. So definitely explore those options out there if you need to. The kind of downside of this versus Google Hangouts is there aren't the captioning options, and it doesn't click so seamlessly with all the other Google tools. However, you can always share your screen so that you can be sharing those Jamboards, those Google Slides, and also those sort of devices are just shareable so everybody can have them open on their computer. So that is Zoom. Have fun hosting your meetings.